withdraw his money out there in Ashtabula. And they caught some charges.
Got away with it, too, if it weren't for those damn kids.
Yeah. Yeah, they propped him up so that they could withdraw money from his account at a U.S. bank drive-through window. And they were charged with gross abuse of a corpse. Why is the gross in there? Because to me, gross either implies a number.
It's a corpse.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, legally, is that what they mean?
I don't know.
It feels a little on the nose. I mean, listen, abuse of a corpse will suffice. They go, what were you charged with? Abuse of a corpse. Yeah, okay. It tells the story, just in the interest of word economy.
Well, what's the non-gross abuse of a corpse?
That's my question. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Maybe someone who, maybe one of the attorneys in our office.
Verbal abuse of a corpse.
What's that?
Mental abuse of a corpse?
Yeah, verbal.
Verbal abuse of a corpse. You never amounted to anything, and now you're dead. Both women have been in custody.
You smell terrible.
And you need some exercise, too. You just lie there. You don't smell that. You need a bath and some exercise. 80-year-old Douglas Lyman died in the home that they shared in Ashtabula. One of the women had been his girlfriend for the past year, 63-year-old Karen Kasbaum. Now, let's figure this out. I'll throw this at you. What if, because these two were romantically entangled, there was some kind of pre-existing arrangement between the two of them? We don't know that they were trying to, like, scam anything. I mean, clearly this wasn't the way to go about it. But maybe he died before he was able to, cross his T's and dot his I's.
I don't know.
He's like, hey, if I die, you can get my money. But he didn't sign anything. So she was like, well, what the hell am I going to do now? He said that I could have the $27 in his account or whatever it is. And they had no recourse but to pop him up, Weekend at Bernie's style. They don't even know how this guy died. But it sounds like she was kind of ripping the guy off before they were, they're posted up in his house. These women have been getting in trouble for other things, like drug paraphernalia, all the greatest hits out there in Ashtabula. And this can't make regular Ashtabulans, is that a thing? This can't make regular Ashtabulans feel good. They're just out there trying to live their lives.
They're like, it's par for the course. This is Ashtabula.
Is that true? Is there a lot of gross corpse abuse out there?
I mean, there's a lot of drug abuse.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm sure there leads to stuff like that.
Oh, and drugs eventually will make corpses. I get it. I see where you're going.
And abusers.
Yeah. The women removed his corpse from their home and placed him in the front passenger seat of the car he owned.
I don't want no scrub.
This dead guy's on the passenger side.
My best friend's ride, trying to steal from his ATM.
And then they headed to the U.S. Bank branch nearest to them, where the tellers knew the women. So they're like, we're just going to, on paper, the plan's not terrible. The guy could be sleeping. You lean him up, you put sunglasses on him. A full-on Weekend at Bernie's style. Weekend at Bernie's, which was a movie I saw one time when I was younger, and then happened to catch it again, like last summer. And I'm like, how? You have to suspend so much disbelief for Weekend at Bernie's. I guess that's what made it funny.
Right.
But by the time the second one, wasn't he like resurrected by like a Haitian spell or something? Or like a witch doctor put a spell
like
and he's moving around
He's dancing.
of his own accord?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be very problematic in 2024 to have a reanimated corpse from a witch doctor. But these two slapped this old dead dude.
You tell me, witch doctor.
Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah. And they...
we watched that movie a lot.
Weekend at Bernie's?
Because it's one of those movies that we taped off of an HBO free preview weekend.
Yeah.
So, one of my brothers loved it. So he would just turn it on all the time. I don't know if it just because it had like a scene with boobs or something, but it was a ridiculous movie.
Well, my little bit of nerd trivia, because I know all these tiny little dumb things about movies and actors and people who made them, is the guy who directed Weekend at Bernie's is also the guy who directed First Blood with Sylvester Stallone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Those are two wildly different movies.
Yes, they are. A guy named Ted Kotcheff, who made a handful of movies, but he mostly ended up being a television director. But he did First Blood and then Weekend at Bernie's. So Weekend at Bernie's, the first one was 89. I don't remember if they'd made 2 or 3 of them. But by the time they got to him kind of like moving around of his own accord, it was a whole thing. But it was a big hit. Doubled their budget. And so people love Weekend at Bernie's. And I feel like it was the last we saw of Jonathan Silverman. Where has that guy been?
He did a few episodes of Friends.
Okay.
What else did he do?
He had a sitcom called The Single Guy. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, Single Guy.
But that was a long time
Wasn't
ago.
he on...
That was like right after Weekend at Bernie's.
Wasn't he on the Jim Gaffigan show?
I have no idea.
I think he was.
Maybe he was.
I like
But
that show.
the Jim Gaffigan show?
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
Yeah.
And of his own accord.
Right.
He's like, nah, don't do it. So, the guy...
He was on an episode of My Name is Earl. I remember that.
I didn't watch that show.
Love that show.
Didn't watch that show.
So he's been around.
I didn't watch that show.
Me either. He's been around. I don't know what that one is.
No.
You're thinking of Gimme a Break with Nell Carter.
Oh, that's the Kit Kat song.
Yes, that she sang it.
Oh.
Originally, yes. Give me a break. That's how she did it. And then they go, hey, that's... When the show gets canceled, and it invariably will, can we use that for this crunchy candy we've got? By the way, I'm so ashamed of myself.
Good.
Since you brought up, I mean,
About
for
time.
so many reasons, but on the impulse purchase front, I was checking out a couple of weeks ago at Giant Eagle. And there, as I'm waiting, they knew where to do it, and they knew how to get me. They had like a cardboard display there of the new Kit Kat pink lemonade. And I go, all right, well, I've got to get one because I can't not. I like Kit Kats. And I don't eat them often, but if they have a new one, I got to try it. But you know what
Lemon
it is?
chocolate?
It's that stupid fake, like white chocolate, which isn't white. It's not chocolate, rather. It's just like sweet goo.
I like white chocolate.
Ugh, but it's not chocolate.
I don't care.
Mary, you know my feelings on chocolate, right? I set those aside when it comes to Kit Kats. So all I'm saying is, for people who are Kit Kat aficionados and might not be hip to the fact that they're rolling out these pink lemonade ones, they're out there. Go and find them. Try them for yourself. AC's review, 2 thumbs down. But that's just me.
So a little callback to Friday with nicknames and all that. When I was a freshman in college before they kicked me out, we had 4 guys named Paul all on the same floor of our dorm. One we called Little Paul. Another was Tall Paul. There was Paul, and then finally Alcohol because he was a raging alcoholic. There was also a guy named George who tried to go by Jorge, but people called him Hip Hip, like Hip Hip Jorge.
If I was George, I'd go. I had a friend in college who was actually Jorge. He was Haitian or something, and his name was Jorge. But if I was George, I'd go by Jorge. Hip Hip Jorge? That'd be awesome. Every time you walked in the room, just go, I'd say Hip Hop Jorge, just as a tip of the cap, but it'd be great. By the way, I'm getting.
That must have been from a best of, though, because we weren't here last Friday. You said Friday.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's in
Yeah,
it.
probably. Or he was calling about something that we talked about, I don't know, before we were gone. Next week, by the way, for people who have asked, we are coming back this summer with Captain Fun's Floating Fandango. So I will have all of the details for you on how and when you can join us on this summer's cruise, which will be happening next month. I'll have tickets for you to win. Be doing some appearances. You can come out and win some too. Stansbury's going to be giving some away for you. We're doing a a multi-program giveaway, Bill, for the floating fandango.
Crossover.
Yeah.
Stansbury going to come on the boat with us?
That'd be great. I don't know. He's got his own thing going on. But starting next week, I'll give you all the details and tell you how you can win tickets if you want to join us this summer. Because we've made a handful of positive changes.
I got to do a correction. A lot of the people that I was talking about, the Jonathan Silverman stuff, was Adam Goldberg. I mixed those two up a lot.
Oh, okay. Not the guy from the Goldbergs. You mean the actor at the Hebrew Hammer?
Yes, he's the one that was on the Jim Gaffigan show and My Name is Earl.
Him I remember, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, Friends.
Well, it didn't seem inconceivable that Jonathan Silverman, he was very much a sitcom movie star of the 80s and early 90s. So it seemed like, and everybody went through Friends at one point or another. There was a young man named Bradley Pitt. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
But he was on that show Friends.
It was a big breakout for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, same with Bruce Willis. Put him on the map.
Oh, Bruce Willis. Is he still alive? Is he doing okay?
He's not doing great. I think he's still alive, but I don't think he's doing well.
Yeah. His wife, if you follow his wife on Instagram, she's always posting updates. And she's taken a lot of heat for it, too, which I think is kind of gross. But because people are accusing her of this, that, and the other, or, but she's like, look, this is my husband, and I love him, and he has a lot of fans. No good deed goes unpunished, really, when it comes to social media. But it looks like he's in rapid decline. You talk about gross abuse of a corpse. What constitutes a raging alcoholic? Because to me, alcoholics suffice, right?
No.
Not somebody who's a social drinker. If you're an alcoholic, that is a problem.
Functional alcoholic.
Yeah, but still a problem. The only reason that they put functional on the front is because it's fundamentally a problem.
No, because you can go to work and do your stuff and everything like that, but
you're still an alcoholic. There are probably functioning, raging alcoholics.
No, I think raging means like you're just a train wreck. Like you're throwing up, you're falling into stuff, you're crashing cars, you're not able to perform your duties. Like you're a crazy person.
Duty. So you were a raging alcoholic?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why you have so much rage in you.
Yes.
Because you're mad that you can't drink.
She got it all out last night bowling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bullying, Bill. She was bullying people.
Right. Yeah. Nice comedy special.
Hey, listen, I have to think that there's a part of you that is probably mad that you can't drink.
Not at all. I mean, there's times
a subconscious
where,
part. Well, because there's a social component to it. Mad that you can't properly drink.
There's the times when I'm like, I wish I could have 2 beers.
Yeah.
Or something, but I don't miss it at all. There's not a single bone in my body that misses drinking alcohol.
Well, that's what I mean. It's probably more on a subconscious level because you associate it with just being a night
bones.
No, it's probably a couple times a year when I'm like, I wish I could have a glass of champagne or like
New Year's and Thanksgiving,
a glass or 2 of wine and be fine. But that's ship sailed years ago.
Mm-hmm. Unless, and
you get another shot.
No, I mean, no.
I thought that's where you're going with it. Like, unless you're cured now.
No. The whole world-ending thing where she runs out and does everything.
Yeah.
I'm getting drunk and I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm gonna die anyway, speed up the process.
Yeah. But then you click on the television and they go, we screwed up.
Yeah. What if it's a functional world ending?
It's a functional. It's not a raging extinction level event. It's a functioning extinction level event. Okay, so raging means completely out of control. And functional is like, hey, I'm an alcoholic, which is not good, but I won't lose my job.
I get to work on time.
Right. Is that all it takes?
Put alcohol in. I think just the term rage means like when you're drunk, you're like going all out. You're lighting stuff on fire and you're like the shots guy. And
but isn't that, but that's like a fun drunk too, right?
No, not when it gets problematic.
Well, it's all problematic. The holic part to me means problematic. And then there's levels to that. But like everybody knows fun drunks. They're the guys falling into tables. They're not hurting anybody. They're just,
They are.
That's not a raging alcoholic, is it?
The things you choose to latch onto.
No, I'm
never-
curious.
never
I have no
understand.
experience with alcoholism, and so I defer to you to give me the finer points of it.
I think it's just a term people use. Raging is a drama term. I'm just trying to make it drama. This person's a crazy person. Because you can be an alcoholic and just like pass out at your house. You could drink 3 bottles of wine a night and just sleep on your couch. That's still an alcoholic. They're not raging. They're sleeping.
A sleeping alcoholic. I've heard of those.
alcoholic.
Yeah, I've heard of those. You can't rage when you're sleeping.
I can.
One of our, Bill can't. Don't tell him he can't do it. He can rage. He can sleep. He can do them interchangeably. And he'll show you how he can. There is, we have a bureau chief down in Valdosta, Georgia. About 45 minutes outside Valdosta is a little town of about 13,000 people. And the town is all a Twitter. This is the town of
It's all
Waycross.
X now.
They're all X. A town called Waycross, Georgia. You might have seen this. This went viral because a guy drank a margarita down his girlfriend's ass crack. And people in the town went bananas on Facebook trying to get the cops to look into it and whatever. They were just at a Mexican restaurant. This is just small town drama. And small towns, a lot of them, will have, usually only one, Mexican restaurant, right? And you can go just get ripped for $20 at the local Mexican restaurant. And this guy and his girlfriend or his wife or something, somebody filmed them. I don't think they were filming themselves. Somebody filmed them. He was pouring margaritas down her, or he had a funnel or something, and then he decides to just ditch the funnel, and he pours the pitcher on her ass, and then he's like under there trying to get at it, right?
Good for him.
And then the people in this little town,
Got mad about love.
that's what I'm saying. It's okay when you're, I'm sure at this Netflix party Mary was at, they got the shots coming out of like an
There
ice
was an ice
cherub's
luge,
tiny
yeah.
acorn knob. Yeah. But this is no good.
It's not classy.
Oh.
It's not classy when it's real.
Well, people in this town were posting feverishly. These were raging complainers. These
There you
weren't
go.
functional complainers.
Now you're getting it.
Yep. They're like, oh my God, I was there with my family. And they were out on the patio.
Well, my family.
Well, listen, if I was at a place with my kids or something and there's a guy next to us
It's a weird
pouring
move at a
pitcher
restaurant.
a pitcher of margaritas down his girlfriend's ass crack, I'd be like, hey, bro. So people.
That was for the table. It was a pitcher.
Yeah.
Can't just hog it all.
Yeah. So, listen, people were complaining they'll never visit there again. And these are just local business owners, probably just operating on a shoestring budget there at this restaurant, and everybody in this tiny town flipped out.
What if it was non-alcoholic? Would that make it more appropriate?
Virgin margaritas?
Virgin margaritas? Or what if it was like
Lime
chips and
juice?
salsa? Like pouring the salsa down?
And then just
butt crack
scooping
on-
it out of her coin slot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that is chunky.
Style.
I am
Spicy.
far from a prude, this person posted, but I've never been more disgusted in my life than by these people acting like animals in your restaurant.
Animals
I will-
can't pour margaritas.
You can train them. I will be taking my business elsewhere. By the way, empty threat. If you're in a town of 12,000 people and there's one Mexican restaurant, where are you going to go? McDonald's?
Taco Bell.
Huh?
Taco Bell.
They might not have a Taco Bell. Some people were suggesting that people might end up with pink eye. I don't know. But people are, and of course, there's merch involved too. People have already made hats. I got my margarita mudslide at Rodeos in Waycross, Georgia. So those are there too. So if you're looking for some brand new merch, maybe you're over Hawk Tua, or maybe you're over Justin Timberlake's mugshot T-shirt, and you want to get the merch of the moment. Might be the Now they're kind of playing fast and loose with the mudslide part, but I get what they're doing.
Mayor, it's Dustin. I got one of these mudslide T-shirts. I don't know what they're talking about, but I don't know where all the money went. You want us to make money? Donate so you can make all these dumb caps and shirts. Where'd all the money go? I'm just saying, I don't know.
You know.
My T-shirts. Oh, it's fun, isn't it? I got to take a break. I'll have more money for you right around 3:30. That is courtesy of the Buzzard bookie. So listen for those keywords. Want to go see Def Leppard? They're doing a show with Journey at Progressive Field. Cheap Trick is on that bill, too. A couple of weeks away, I believe. So we'll hand those off after the break. 35192. Text for anything else, and we'll be back.
This is the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeart